room, and I'm going to talk about something I just got a hold of, and that's this Splatoon Buki collection. And I've got the complete set now. And the cases, I'm going to talk about these gear collections too. I've got all three of those, so we're going to talk about a bunch of Splatoon stuff. So here's what the case looks like. And it just has a diagram of what weapons you're going to get in the case. But it's black and white. It's meant to be because there's like a little perforated edge here that rips off, and then this becomes a display for these figures so they can be sold in stores. I guess they're not really figures, I don't know what they are. Items. But the boxes you purchase are much more interesting. And I have been interested to know, because I've been buying them as cases, whether or not you can tell what you're getting. And I mean, a case definitely has a complete collection. I'm just wondering. Doesn't look like it says it anywhere. It looks like they're all blind boxed. So if you're buying these separate, that's even worse. But, you know, typically the way they are sold anywhere, even today, is in sets. And there's like always 8 to a set. So we'll talk to that. Except one is a little bit weird, but yeah. So, because this part is going to be kind of boring, me opening all these boxes and getting all these little things out, I'm going to skip all that. I'll open one so you know what is in these things. So we're starting with the first box from the first set, which may or may not be interesting. All of them come with this candy, which I'm sure is terrible. And it's nondescript, it's not even like an inkling squid or anything. And then you get a bag. So this is a paint roller. And these are like the little stands. Alright. And the name of the weapon is in Japanese, so it doesn't help us out a whole lot. And I don't think I know the names to all the weapons anymore. Maybe I'll do a little research for you while I'm opening all these and figure it all out. So like, this goes in here, like that. Kinda, maybe. There you go. So you have your little tiny paint roller. And then these pieces fit into this, and it sits on here like this. So I'll do that real quick, because I know how this one works at least. One set I had to buy loose because a lot of these had become really expensive. Sure. Well, it shows it on the box. Just kind of sets in there. Yeah, these two things sit in there like that. Oh, aha! So you have to learn which way the pieces go, because you have to assemble it yourself. And like you saw, there's no instructions for that. So it's a little curious. So there you go. It has a little stand. And all of them have custom stands, so they look really cool when they're stood up. Alright, so let me build out the collection. I'll be back in some time. So this is an interesting note. On some of these, the pieces are really small and you have to attach them onto the gun. They come off like this. There's my pile of trash. And every one of them has these two pieces that you have to break off, and they're pretty, like, they make me a little nervous because the piece you're breaking off is thinner than the piece that's holding it. So there's pretty good potential for breakage, especially like this small one here. So that's kind of weird. Try it this way. No, I have to have two hands to do that. But this one, you have to put these on like I just did with this one here. So, okay, continuing on. There's also no diagram to show you how exactly all these little pegs go in this stand. And the dualies are hard because there's two of them. And here's what you get. You get like this little shot from the front. And there's no other information. So it's kind of interesting. It's like a puzzle. Okay, this is the last one. Oh. Well, I hadn't had one that bad before. Just massacred the box. This one comes with stickers. That's a first. And break the seal. Okay, there you go. So I have to make that one. So sometimes you absolutely massacre the box, and other times you get like this perfect pop where there's absolutely no damage to the box at all. So with the gear set, they actually label who you get. So that's a bonus. I just wanted to show real quick that this is how these come out. Now, the first round had clear stands, and these have these more opaque stands because they're kind of translucent. But you have to put in the ears. Why do you have to put in the ears? Why are the ears removable? Because sometimes you need like headphones. So I just wanted to show you that's kind of a pain. Alright, and here's the last box of the gear collection. And you can see the last guy is going to be that. So it's number 4 on the inside. That doesn't really help. But put that down here. Oh, dump out my candy. Okay. And then they just come in a little bag like this. So the figure's mostly built when you get it. It kind of surprised me. Because you'd think with something you could tear apart that they'd make you just put it together, but they only make you put the ears on. And here's the ears. You just twist these off. So I like to put this part on here. And the first set was super difficult to put on. Let's see if I can show you this. This one's being a pain. This set has the opaque versions as well. Oh, I think I have to go a little higher. There we go. You have to find where they want you to have it. Then you put the little shoe on. And I'll save you putting the ears on. I'll be right back with the whole set here. Alright, so all the boxes are unboxed. And all the trash is on the floor. And there's my huge pile of candy I'll never eat. So let's get started. Hi there. So this might be a lot of me talking off screen, just because of the nature of having these being so small, but we're going to give this angle a shot. It's kind of weird. So here's the complete sets. There's 2 sets from the original Splatoon, and there's 3 sets from Splatoon 2, and then you have 3 sets of the gear collection that range from, I think, well, most of the characters are from Splatoon 2, but they went back and added a couple of Splatoon regular characters. So let's look at the weapons first. So in this one here, this is the first set right here. So Splatter Shot, 52 gallon. Then you have the E-liter scopes here. And then you have the dynamo rollers. So they ended up doing the dynamo rollers first for some reason. And then you have the Luna blasters. Those are great weapons. So then we have another Splatter Shot. This is the second set. Your Slosher. So they didn't do too many of these. And then you have ink brushes. Your mini Splatling guns. And then your Splatter Shot Juniors, which are hilarious. They made these just like, it looks like a toy I had when I was a kid, like the cheap little water blasters you'd get every summer and break. And you can see like the hose inside. So they went through a lot of detail here. You can't open it or anything, because this is like, I don't know if you can see there that the piece on the inside is bigger. So, oops, just elbowed one of these ladies here. And this is the custom one because it has a little sticker on it. That's just really cool that they went through that much detail. And each one, like I said before, has its own custom stand to stand it up, which is really neat. And then all of the letters are in Japanese, of course. The labels, I mean, the letters. So this one actually has like a piece where the gun goes inside. Here's your Luna blaster. So you can see all of the detail on these is exquisite. Come here, buddy. And all of the brand names and everything that Nintendo decided to make for all these are there. So it's really kind of great to see. And the detail is really, really great, really tiny sometimes, like on this ink brush. It's kind of hard to find out exactly how they wanted you to stand it up sometimes, but in the end it's, I don't know, it wasn't that tough. Okay, so that's the Splatoon 1 sets. And the first set was re-released and is fairly easy to get, but the second set is very expensive, or tends to be. And I guess they're not re-releasing all of them because it's been a while since this first set has been re-released. So the second set is tough to find. The first set of the Splatoon 2 weapon collection, darn it. This one just wants to fall down on me. She loses her shirt and everything. The second Splatoon 2 set is, you know what, I'm just going to lay her down, she's going to be a problem. Is going to be harder to find. The second set of Splatoon 2 I think is the hardest. It's the most expensive one. So let's go ahead and look at that. We have the Splatter Shot. This is set 1 of Splatoon 2. We have the Splatter Shot again. Splat Doolies right here. I should pull these up because these stands are pretty great. That they made both of them sit so they wouldn't overlap each other too much. You have the range blaster. This thing is awesome. You got your Splatter Shot Pros. And you can even see that, yeah, that's translucent there a little bit. So it really seems like ink could be in these things. And one of my favorite names is the Squiffer. That's pretty awesome. These all look like modified cleaning supplies or you know, something related to ink, which is great. So that's that set. The next set has only, so they obviously couldn't cover all of the weapons. This one has a Brella, the Splat Brella, and the Hero Shot. So the first two that are always listed are kind of the special ones, and then the rest of them are unique, but they have a recolor. So there's the Hero Shot, gold and silver arrow sprays, and just really remarkable detail on all these. It's crazy that they went through so much detail. So in the second set we actually have our paint rollers, classic paint rollers, or splat rollers as it were, and then the Octo Brush is there. Nice old design there, very Japanese looking. So the last set, hold on, I'm going to stand for this one, has another Splatter Shot, but it has different markings. And then here you go, you got your sloshing machine. So they only did 2 sloshers, but check that out, look at that detail. It's so awesome. There's that. That one does not want to sit on there. You got your Neo Splashomatic airbrusher kind of thing. And then this is, or Splooshomatic. And then these two are very similar. This is the Jet Squelcher. So there you go, and that one. And that one has a hard time standing on its stand. You just have to kind of hit it right. And then I think this is the best weapon in the game, but oh, I bumped it. And this is the most coveted set because of the NZAP 85 and the NZAP 89. And it's a crying shame they didn't just go ahead and do the NZAP 83, the Famicom version. Oh, I think I lost my Autobahn. So the last set, I'm going to pump this because, sorry. It's so hard to film this. The last set, they actually went and did all the sub-weapons too. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. So let me move over here, move my sloshing machine. And these ones are less interesting and cool because there's just less to them, and they don't sit on stands that are customized really. They just kind of have a little stand. So with this one, with the Autobahn, you can see he doesn't have like little slots for his feet to sit in. He just sits on top of there. So he's really easily prone to falling. So you have your splash bombs and your sprinkler and your squid sensors, which fell off, and your curling bombs and your suction bombs and your toxic mist, which really doesn't want to sit on its stand, and then your burst bombs. So you have all those in the back. And these ones had stickers, these suction bombs, so I got them on pretty well. Stickers always make me anxious because they have to go on so perfectly, but they did a pretty good job that time. Here's the curling bombs. These are funny. And I showed you the Autobahn, but the other ones aren't really all that intricate. I like that the burst, or not the burst bomb. I like that these bombs are translucent, like they're holding something. But generally, I think that they were cheaper, the sub-weapons, because there just wasn't as much to them. Now it's a bummer that they didn't do more like heavy Gatlings, and they kind of skipped the sniper, the chargers, altogether. But because they only have like these right here, the E-liters. But I'd say it's a good array. It's a good show of the weapons in the game. So let's talk about these guys here. These sets come with 4 figures each. So there's 1, 2, 3 sets. So they come with 4 figures and then 4 outfits for those figures. And some of them are difficult to add things to and some of them aren't. Most of them have like a little hole on their head. So they can just add, like here's some, if you took the ears off, you could get these headphones on like that. You can take the ears off to do that, but it's a pain. And you lose the ears because they're so tiny. And then with this guy, so set 1 maybe wasn't the best. You have to take off his hair, or his tentacles or whatever. And then you have access to the hole to give him like a hat or something. And then with the outfits, I had to put my green guy back together here. I'll just show her this one because she's right here and it's already off. With the figures, the clothes just kind of form around the figure, so you can pop them off and then add new ones. And the, oh gosh, I didn't know that. The this one pulled her tank top off too. I didn't know the tank tops could come off. This is kind of the base clothes, but I didn't know. It snapped back on pretty easy, but that's kind of weird that they're... Huh. So then the shoes are replaceable too. They're not exactly the easiest thing to pull off, but there's the little knob of a foot that they have, so you've got to put it back on. And they just snap on and off pretty easily. And then they give you different outfits and things to put on them all. And that's just a great thing, because the game has a lot of really interesting weapons, but the fashion of it all is just interesting too. Something to spend your currency on. So they have like hats and knit caps and berets, and look at this. I thought that was really funny that they made a bucket hat. So they have these stands with the little inkling base to display the outfits you're not using. And all of them are great, like they're hoodies and shirts and jackets and stuff that they have in the game. I'm sure they're all from the game. They wouldn't have it otherwise. But I love that the t-shirts also come direct from the game. Like I remember having that guy on my character in Splatoon. So that was pretty great. And like all the branding and stuff, like they made all the branding really matter for the game, which was great. So it's amazing to me that they were able to make these figures. Like someone said, okay, we made these weapons, why don't we make these figures to represent the fashion part of it, and to have it all so well sculpted that you can pop them on and pop them off is just really amazing to me that they did that. And they're like candy figures, like they come with these little candies, and it's like no one bought these for the candies, are you kidding me? Typically candy toys are low quality, but all these toys are amazingly high quality. And they look great. They're really nice pieces. I was a little hesitant because all of these guys have these little backs. When I was putting them on, they were really difficult to get on, and I thought I'd like snap the figures. Turns out they're remarkably durable as well. Like you're not going to find pieces snapped off for the most part, I don't think. You might find a missing ear if you're looking for these figures, but for the most part, they're very durable. They're kind of that bendy plastic that I like to have on most of my figures, so it's not like brittle, because it can get brittle over the years. My one complaint for both of these sets is that this figure, like these figures, can't hold these, but the weapons came first. So to scale these to these characters here and to still have them be candy toys was probably out of the question. But it's a bummer that these guys can't hold the weapons. I've heard that the World of Nintendo Inkling girl figure and Inkling boy, if you do a little bit of custom work, they can hold these weapons. The Figma is a little bit too big, I guess, or something is off, like the weapons are too big or the figure's too big. So it looks a little weird to have them hold it, but because like the paint rollers are scaled, like everything's just kind of its own scale. They didn't scale it to each other necessarily, because obviously the paint rollers are huge compared to the Inklings. So actually those might only be the things that are scaled to these figures. The characters are not articulated at all. You can't move the arms. That would be a lot to ask if you are having this customizable option. The heads do move from side to side, and you can kind of position the feet because they're on balls, but the arms don't move up and down. So I guess they are articulated, they're just not fully articulated. Would have been nice to have moving arms, but what's the point of that? Especially if they can't hold the weapons. So I think the best part of this is like the video game, the 8-bit pixel guy with the pixel squids up here. Those are pretty great. I put those on there. And I love the fact that they made the earphones, even though that I think what they should have done is just had little slots for the ears. Like right now you can just see that they're flat. If they had slots for the ears, you wouldn't have to remove the ears, and that whole part could have been removed, because most of the hats you can put on just go right on. Like I can throw this hat on this Inkling girl and it looks right. That's awesome. Trucker hat. Man, this is just such a cool set. They really captured the feeling and style of Splatoon. Oh man. Oh, I didn't even notice that. So, in trying to put this back on, I didn't even know that this was a ball joint. So you could actually stand the figure on, potentially. None of these have like a peg though. That's weird. Why would they do that? Why would they have this be posable? Now I have to rethink the whole thing. That's weird. Because if they had like a peg on the back of them, then you could stand them on this and they could, they could show off their outfit. And you could even like somewhat pose them, but maybe that was planned and not executed, but they kept the stand. Another little nitpick is these things are kind of wonky. They're kind of hard to get the characters on, and for some reason this character with this haircut, he has like a short haircut. Or no, it's not that guy. Where's the guy? What am I talking about here? One of these guys. Oh, this guy. So he's got this like wave up front, and for some reason he came with an extra wave piece, and it's airbrushed a little different, but I don't really see the difference. I've been trying to figure it out, but it seems as though maybe some of the hats don't work with his haircut. If you can call it a haircut. This one's kind of wild, where it looks like it's chopped off. I actually thought when I opened it that part of it had snapped off, so I was like, oh no, my figure broke. But since the other one is exactly the same, and I hadn't seen the game in a while to recognize all the haircuts, everything was fine, so that's good. Alright, Well, I'm going to fall over in this position, so I should end this video. But it's been really great. I've been trying to find all these sets at a decent price for a long time. I finally got the last sets. So, yeah, thanks for watching. It's a complete set of the Buki collection. I don't know why it's called Buki, but, you know, Japanese. I'm not familiar with Japanese. And the gear collection. So both excellent sets. Thanks for watching.